This is Gemara in Gittin, Daf Mem Tes, and today's shir has been sponsored by, we'll call a close friend of the Daf, Baruch Hashem, someone that has joined the Chabura during the cycle, we'll call it, B'siyat Shmaya, Schus to learn together. And today's shir he's sponsoring as a Schus Aliyas Neshama for his mother, whose yahrzeit is tomorrow, Feiga Ita Bas Arya Leba Kayed, whose yahrzeit is going to be tomorrow, and Tes Zayin Tammuz B'siyat Shmaya. The learning of the entire Chabura, Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam. Learning during the month of Tammuz as we prepare ultimately for the Beis HaMikdash, not for mourning. Should bring to an higher place in Gan Eden Shel Ma'ilам B'Yamil for the entire Mishpacha. And we pick it up in the bottom of Memches Mabeis. We began the new parak yesterday. And in the parak we began just to remind ourselves with a statement from the Mishnah that the Mishnah taught us that the reason why Mitanizik Shaiminan is because, I should say better, the reason why, actually, instead of saying it outside, let's just take a moment to go back to the Mishnah, that the Mishnah concluded, Mipnei Tikkun Ha'ilam. That what was the Tikkun Ha'ilam, said the Mishnah, that the Baal Chayiv takes Mi Beinanis, and more importantly, Nizakin is Shamin Lahem Be'idias. The Nizakin, the name of the parak, that when one damages someone else, he has to pay from Idias, the best. So ask the Gemara, why is it Tikkun Ha'ilam? And we had a problem that L'chaira we should have learned it out from Sukkim. So the Gemara concluded that according to Rabbi Yishmael, I don't understand. What's going on over here? It sounds like you're paying more than you damaged. So continues the Gemara, 6 lines from the bottom. The case is that the animal ate one aruga, one row, one bed of something between other rows in the garden. And we don't know. It's a suffix. We're not sure. This is the din of Rabbi Yishmael. That he has to pay for the best stuff of the field, because it could be that he ate from the idios. But it's true, if we know that indeed he ate from the cheap stuff, then he pay from that. Amar Rava asked 4 lines in the bottom. 1 second. Ilu yadinan, if we were to know, so we know he ate the bad stuff, he pays the bad stuff. Hashta, so now, that we don't know, mishalim shmeina. Says Rava, what happened to the most basic rule of all of Chesed Mishpat? That he who is trying to extract money, let's give the case. Reuven animal ate in Shimon's field. So Shimon now is coming to extract from Reuven. Shimon doesn't know if Reuven's animal ate from Chusha or Shmeina. So why is he getting Shmeina? Shimon, the burden of proof is up on you. Says the Gemara, you're right. A new way of explaining Rabbi Yishmael, Ella Amar Rav Acha Bar Yaakov. And with that, we turn over to Memtesam and Aleph, today's daf. Says Rav Acha Bar Yaakov, you know the din of Rabbi Yishmael is Achmai Eskin and Gon Sha'isa Idias Tenizek Diburias De Mazik. And this gets a dot confusing, but B'siyata Dishmaya. The case is that the best stuff of the Nizik, again, let's just remind ourselves in case we didn't do it well enough when we learned the Mishnah. The mazik is he that damages. Mazik. The nizik is the one that gets the damaged. So in our case, actually, let's just use me and you. It's easier for this discussion. Let's say I am the mazik. I damage you. You are the nizik. So the exact case in the Mishnah is Kigoyin Shoyse Idias. The case of Rabbi Yishmael, is Kigoyin Shoyse Idias the nizik. Your best stuff is like my worst stuff. So in the example that we're giving, I have lots of chashav fields, and you don't have that chashav. We'll call it, I have grade A, B, and C, and you have C, D, and E. So the ziburius of the mazik, my worst stuff, my C, is like your A, is your best stuff. So in such a scenario, Rabbi Yishmael, Savar, 2 lines down, Mem Tasam and Aleph, B'denizik shaiminon. The chiddush of Rabbi Yishmael is, how do we figure out with whose field you get the idius? The perek hanizakin shamin be'idius. Whose idius? My idius or your idius? Says Rabbi Yishmael b'denizik. It goes by the damagee. It goes by the one that got damaged. Rabbi Kiva savar b'demazik shaiminon. My time with Rabbi Yishmael, says the Gemara 4 lines down. Namar sadala malav and namar salam hala. The Torah says the word sadah 2 times. Ma sadam mur lamala b'denizik. Av sadam mur lamata denizik. So according to Rabbi Yishmael, the fact that the Torah says the word sada 2 different times in 2 different psukim, one is at the end of Shemais and one is at the beginning of that pasuk, and therefore, says Rabbi Yishmael, we know that one is b'denizik, the other is b'denizik. What does Rabbi Akiva say? 6 lines down, Memtasam and Aleph Savar Meitis Adeu Yeshalim. What do Rabbi Akiva says? Don't start making fancy drashais. One is idiot, the other is. It says Rabbi Akiva stayed in Torah. The pasuk says, "Meitav sadeu yishalim." You got to pay back from your best. Whatever it is, so says Rabbi Akiva, goes by the mazik. The Torah told you, or me in our case, the mazik, pay from the best. So don't start getting all fancy and lamdish. Don't start getting all complicated at my best and your worst. No! Pay from your best. End of story. Says the Gemara of Rabbi Yishmael, according to Rabbi Yishmael, Hani Gzeir Shava, V'Hani Kra. Rabbi Yishmael concedes that there is a pasuk. At the end of the day, Meitis Adeu Hishalim. So we have a Gzeir Shava and a pasuk. Explains the Gemara. Hani Gzeir Shava Lechdamar. Like we just said. That what? It goes by the Nizik. Hani Kra. So what does the pasuk teach us? Let's say not a case that my lowest is like your best. No, a regular case. The mazik have multiple fields. I have A, B, and C. I have Idias A, Ziburi is the worst C. Viziburi is the day, and my worst, my worst is not equivalent to your best. Then the Mishalam Meitav. A unique clause. The only time Rabbi Yishmael lets the damager, the mazik will call it get away with paying a lower grade, is if my lower grade is like your upper grade. So then we could translate Gzeir Shava that it goes by you, and therefore I'm going to give you the lower grade. But says Rabbi Yishmael, if it doesn't equal up, boom, you got to pay me Meitav from the best stuff. Rav Akiva Aimer says Rav Akiva, no. Says Rabbi Akiva that Rav Akiva learns that the Fasik is teaching me that by damages we collect from Idias V'Kal V'Chaimer Lehektish. That's the end of the statement of Rav Akiva. And now we figure out what exactly does Rav Akiva mean. Says the Gemara, my Kal V'Chaimer Lehektish, what does Rav Akiva mean? If you're going to tell me that our regular person's ox gored an ox of hektish. Says the Gemara, can't be. Why not? Because you wouldn't pay in such a case. Because if one gores an act of hektish, only pay when it's shari eyu. We do not pay when it's shar of rachmana. We do not pay when it's shar of hektish. Hello, what does it mean? If someone says, I'm going to give money to Bedek Abayis. Chayrim Hektish. Tasi Gizbar, when the Gizbar comes, he collects from V'shakal Me'idiyas. That's the Kal V'chaymer, says Rabbi Akiva. Just like Hanizakin B'Idiyas, if you damage, so too, if you give some to Beis HaMikdash, they collect from Idiyas. Says the Gemara, 1 second. Why should Hektish be better than a regular case of a Baal Chayv and I owe someone's money? And the halacha is Baal Chayv Dina B'Beinis. So why should a Hektish get more than a regular person I owe money to? Maybe you're going to suggest because of Rabbi Akiva. Baal Chayv Shakal Be'Idiyas Keni Zakin. So maybe this is going to go very far. Rabbi Akiva is going to learn Hani Zakin is B'Idiyas. Based off of that, we say Hektish is B'Idiyas. And based off of that, we're going to say Baal Chayv is B'Idiyas. Says the Gemara, you can't say that. You know why? Because Baal Chayv has a good koyach with it comes to collection, b'nizakin, when it comes to damages. Taimer b'hektish, shkein hura koyach b'nizakin. Can you say the same thing by hektish? It has a weak Koyach by damages. So let's, as we scroll down the page over here, let's take a moment to look at Rashi. Rashi on the first white line teaches us what does it mean? You have to pay if you damage him. Whereas when it comes to hektish, with damages, that what, like we just said, Shari Eyu Amar Achmana V'loi Shar Shalaktish. So says the Gemara, what is this Kalva Chaymer Lehektish according to Rabbi Akiva? Answers the Gemara, La'ilam, you know what I'll tell you, the case is, our ox scored on the ox of Hektish. What's the kasha? What happened to Shari Yehu Amar Achman of Lo Shar Shalektish? Rabbi Akiva Savar, look, Rav Shimon ben Asya. Titanya, Rav Shimon ben Asya, Omer, Shar Shalektish. And this is, all these Gemaras are really tremendous. But Vakama Gemaras Mir Hashem. A shar of Hektish. Shenagel Shar Shel Hedyet is Potter. Shimon ben Asya learns the drush only goes one way, but Vishal Hedyet, Shenagel Shar Shel Hektish, the opposite of we gore Hektish, the ox, Bein Tam, Bein Mood, whether it's a tam or a mood, an animal that's prone to damage or not, Meshalem Nezek Shalem. Says the Gemara, okay, very nice, but Yachim might be idiot. The Nizik is he buries the Mazik. Pligi. Now that we said a whole fancy Pshan Rabbi Akiva, that he holds like Shimon ben Asya, that he holds that what? That when a regular Jew gores the acts of Hektish, he is indeed Chayiv. So says the Gemara, how do we know that Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yishmael debate in a case where my Ziburius, my being the Mazik, is like the idiots of the Nizik of the guy who got damaged. Tell me it's not true, there's no machlekes in that case. Tell me the kuliyam, but the Nizik shaiminon. Maybe everyone agrees that it goes by the Nizik. It goes by the damagee, that we have to pay his best stuff. You know what the machlekes Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yishmael is? Look to the Shimon ben Asya, Rabbanim Mefliki. The Rabbi Akiva suffer like we just said to Shimon ben Asya. Shmuel suffer like Rabbanon. Give out the we have no raya. Says Gemara, 1 second. My loba kas. If that's true, what does Rabbi Akiva mean at the end of that brayso? So he said, Loiba, Kasav Ella. Sounds like he's actually arguing on Rabbi Yishmael. And furthermor, my Kavachaymer the Hektish. What's going to be the Kavachaymer to Hektish? Rabbi Akiva agrees to Rabbi Yishmael. Then Rabbi Akiva is not learning any Kavachaymer. And furthermor, Amar Rav Ashi taught us, as we turn over to Memtesim and Beis Tanya, we learned in the brayso Behedya. So first, we have 2 questions and 2 proofs in our sugya. The Rabbi Akiva debates Rabbi Yishmael with regard to when the Izias of the Nizik is equal to the Ziburis of the Mask. And now, says the Gemara, quoting a brayso of Kama, it's explicit in the brayso, the first line of Memtesim and Beis. Meitav Zadehu, Meitav Karma, Yishalem, says the Pasik, and we darshim, it's Nizik, Meitav Karma, Shal Nizik, Devar Rabbi Yishmael, hopefully it should sound familiar. Rabbi Akiva, Meitav Zadehu, Shal Mazik, Meitav Karma, Shal Mazik. Ravina, Mar comes along Ravina. And, before we get to Ravina, that was the answer. So what do we see? We see in the brayso that they are debating this very case. Now the Gemara continues that we finished off by saying that Nizakin collects from idiots. The Mishnah then continued and said, what was the reason? The reason was Tikkun Ha'ilam. Tikkun Ha'ilam usually means, or always means, it's a din D'Rabbanan. So now we're going all the way back, because we started the Gemara yesterday, and the Gemara says, is it really din D'Rabbanan? That's where we got involved in Rabbi Yishmael. So Ravina is going back, and Ravina now is giving us a second reason back from Memchesim and Beis, a second reason back in understanding the Mishnah, what the Tikkun Ha'ilam is. Says Ravina Amar 5 lines down, Rabbi Akiva. Really, I'll tell you, the Mishnah is indeed Rabbi Akiva to Amar, that says what? As we just proved that Rabbi Akiva learns Meitav Sadeu, that means what? Meitav Sadeu! You, the damager, you got to pay from the best. And therefore, what's the din of the Mishnah? Rabbi Shimon, he did Darish Taima Dikra. When the Mishnah said that it's Mipnei Tikkun Ha'ilam, it didn't mean it's a din D'Rabbanan. It meant, like Rav Shimon, that we're darshing the reasoning of the Torah. Rabbi Akiva holds Midaraisa, he goes by the Mazik. So what does the Mishnah mean? They take an Olam That's the Taima Dikra. Umatam Kamar, the Mishnah reads. Matam Anizakin Shamdam Beidis. What's the reason why Anizakin Shamdam Beidis? Mibnei Tikino Ilam Titania. As we learned in our Brayso, Amar Rav Shimnei Mamar Anizakin Shamdam Beidis. Mibnei Akazlanim, Mibnei Chamsanim, to deter people from stealing. Kadeshi Amar. Adam Lamani, guys, Lamani Chaimis. Someone should see to himself, it's not worth doing crime. You know why crime is not worth it? The reason is, and this is what our Mishnah is coming to teach us, because lemachar, you know what's going to happen tomorrow? Bezin Yarden Nechasai, I'm going to commit a crime, Rachman Lislan. Tomorrow Bezin's going to come, and not only are they going to take back what they stole, they can take my best field. And they were saimich, and it's a smach. It comes really from the pasuk in the Torah that what? Meit Sadehu, Meit Avkarmoi, Yishalem Lefikach. Therefore, Amru Anizakin, Shamim Lahen Be'edius. So says the Gemara, second shot, says Ravina had to learn the Mishnah, that yes, it's a din d'Rabbanan, but it's a matam, it's explaining the reason Darish time of the Korah is because to prevent Gazlanim and Chamsanim. Continues the Gemara, B'nei Amru, and now we continue, because the Mishnah's next case, as we glance back to the Mishnah on Memchasim Beis, the Mishnah's second case was Ubal Chayv V'Meinis. So now continues the Gemara. Oh, Mibnei Amru. What is the reason why they said Baal Chayv V'Beinis? What's the second din of the Mishnah that Baal Chayv gets from Beinis? You know why? Kedesh Lo Yira Adam L'Chaver Saden. No person shouldn't see his friend as a nice field. B'dira in our nice house. And he's going to say, Ek Bait. You know what I'm going to do? I will literally jump. Ve'elvenu, and I'll lend him money. So that I'll be able to collect his house for that chayv. Therefore they said, no, if someone's a creditor, Amru Bal Chayv Be'Beinis. Says the Gemara, wait, if that's the reason, you should collect from the worst. Why are we letting you even take from Beinis the middle grade? Says the Gemara, the famous line, no one's going to want to lend money if you only can collect back from the lowest grade. And we continue with the next case. And again, these are really the Braisa, but it's mimicking the words in our Mishnah. That what? Ksubas Isha Biziburi is Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Meir Aimer Bebeinanis. So explains the Gemara, this din of Ksubas Isha Amar Rav Shimon teaches Rav Shimon. What is the reason for Rav Yehuda Ziburi? You know why? Sheyaser, another famous Yisaid. Sheyaser Mimasha Isha Isha. I read that incorrect. More than a man wants to get married. A woman wants to get married. The famous Yisayid of Gemara Kedushin, a woman wants to get married more than a man. Another reason, and that's the reason why Ksubas Isha could collect from the lowest grade. Another reason. A second reason, says the Gemara, a woman leaves a marriage both whether she wants or not. What does that mean? That a husband could divorce his wife Baal Karcha against her will, but he only leaves her Tzaynai. Says the Gemara, my Davaracha, what's the second reason? Explains the Gemara. If you're going to tell me, you know what we're going to say? That just as when a man sends out his wife for no reason, the Rabbanan established that what? She gets like suba. Kinafka so too when she leaves, that what? When she provokes her husband, she makes her husband divorce her. Maybe we should also have a takana nami litzkene le rabbanan suba mina. Maybe she should have to pay her ksuba as well. Tashema from here says the Brisa, second reason Isha Yitzler Tzaynai, Vishloler Tzaynai, but Isha Nemaitziya Eloler Tzaynai, Efsher Demashila Begita. Why? Because he could always make her wait for the get, therefore he has the upper hand if they did not have to make such a takana against the woman. And now we continue quoting the Mishnah, Ksubas Isha Beziburius. Says the Gemara, we're about 15 lines from the white lines, the two dots. Amar Marzucha Breder Rav Nachman Lo Amar. This din in the Mishnah, Ksubas Isha from Ziburius was not said. Ella mi yasmi only means if you're collecting from Yisaimim Avol Minei Didei. But if the woman is collecting from her husband, her ksuba, bibeinanis, she gets from Beinis middle grade. Explains the Gemara, Miasmi, Miasmi. You're telling me it's only gets from Ziburis from the Yisayimim? Isha. If you call me Linami, anytime you get from Yisayimim, you get from Ziburis. Atanami learned in the Mishnah. Nifra min achasin Yisayim elam in a Ziburis. It's a klal. You only get Ziburis from Yisayimim. So explains the Gemara, you're right. Ella lav. So rather, what must Ella lav minei? Rather, the Mishnah must be referring to Minei from him himself. So why are you telling me that the Mishnah says Ksubas Isha Ziburi is only for the Yisayimim? It would seem not that way. Answers the Gemara, Halai lemi asmi. So therefore, if it's miasmi, then l'chayra, everything from Yisayim is from Ziburis. What's the chiddush of the Mishnah? Uksubas Isha, it's richlei, the extra chiddush. Why? Sal kedei techamin. I would have thought mishum china ikilu rabban and gabo. I would have thought that for china, that she should earn favor in the eyes of the Yisayim. Maybe we would have let her collect even from Beinonis, even though normally everything from Yisayim gets Ziburis, but maybe Dafka specifically Ksuba should get from Beinonis Kamash Malan, then know that even the Ksuba only comes from Ziburis. Amar Rava comes in Rava, and Rava says Tashima, let's bring our Raya, Rabbi Meir, Rameir Ksubas Isha Beinonis, Miman. Rameir is arguing on the Mishnah. Our Mishnah Ziburis. Rameir says Beinis. Miman, who's this referring to? Ilay Mimi asked me, what do you mean? Less than Rameir the Tanani in front of Chazi Samil Ziburis. We just said everyone agrees that Yisayim only gets Ziburis. Elamine Mechlal, for the fact that we see that according to Rabbi Meir, it's talking about Mine from the husband. And what are you collecting? Beinonis. So l'chayra, what do we learn out from here? Mechlal d'Rabbana that argue in Rameir suffered the Ziburi is minei from the husband. Says Gemara, no raya. Loi let me ask me. Shaynik Ksubas Isha again. Misha mechina, because of the favor, which really we should take a moment. We're basically out of time here, but let's take a moment and look at Rashi. As Rashi explains that what does it mean? Misham china. Where is that Rashi? Rashi is quite high up on the page. Rashi is about 15 lines into the narrow lines. Says Rashi, Misham China, She'anoshim noisin chen be'inei hanoshim, the men should find favor in the eyes of the woman, Binasa lahem. That's the reason why we made a special Gzeira by Ksubas Isha. And we wrap up today's shir with Amar Abaye, comes like Abaye, one more attempt trying to prove what the din in the Mishnah is. Ksubas Isha b'ziburi is Hashem ha. Hanizak, Yisham Namedi Yisubal Chayve Beinis, Ksubas Isha b'ziburi, that's a statement. Miman. So in this threefold din, which seemingly all is one matbeya, one case, who are you referring to? Ilememi asmi, Maria Ksubas Isha, Afilu Kol Hani Nami, Alav Mi Nois, it says Abaye, the same thing must be for the husbands. Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov, Achma Yeskinan, Kon Shenase Orev Leniske Benoy Lebal Choiv. Says Rav Acha bar Yaakov, you know what the case is, where we made an Orev for the damages of the son, Lebal Choiv Benoy Uliksubas Kalosoi. Says Rav Acha bar Yaakov, that you know what's going on over here. The case is that one is an Aref. To what? To that which the child damages. Or to or he's a Baal Chai for the son. Or he's a Baal Chai for the daughters-in-law, and then the son dies. So the Mishnah says, in these cases, then you collect from the father. Why? Because he's now the Arif. So it's a totally new take on the whole Mishnah. Says the Gemara, how can you say this? And this is according to his halacha, meaning each case in the Mishnah is its own. You don't learn all three that they are the same. Now the Gemara explains. Nizak in Mubal Chayiv, Temechayim Gavu. When you collect damages or you collect from a creditor that you collect, Temechayim in the lifetime of the child, Ihunamiki Migvi Mechayim Migvi. He himself, when he's collecting, he also collects when? As if the child is alive. And therefore, you're going to get from the same thing that the son would have got. Ksubas Isha delachar misa gavya, ulachar misa miman gavya miyasmi. Therefore, yunami ki magvi klachar misa magvi kachar misa magvi. You collect as if It's Achar Misa. That's the reason why Ksubas Isha has a separate din. Says the Gemara of a table the Arev Ksuba loy mishtabdi. 1 second, maybe there's no shibud in such a case. Says the Gemara bikablon. The case is where we spoke of they accepted full responsibility. We really should stop because this keeps on going. So we're going to stop over here. We'll pick it up the next year discussing this unique nuance that the Mishnah is honing in on, that the 3 cases are not all created as equal. We're dealing with the case of an Arev, that for each case goes with its din, and we'll pick up from here in the next year. B'siyata Dishmaya.